The picture's owner, Doretta Pepper, says she wants the world to see this version of Dr. Gachet before it's sold and vanishes into a private collection. A major auction house and an American computer billionaire are said to be among the bidders. This is the most celebrated painting of Dr. Gachet by Van Gogh. For 14 years, it was the world's most expensive work of art.
At $75 million. For you, sir, $75 million.
But the whereabouts of that Van Gogh are now unknown, which increases the interest in Mrs. Pepper's Dr. Gachet. Greek art expert Athanasios Celia has been working to determine whether the portrait is a fake.
My assessment is that this painting is a unique, authentic painting. And it is a painting he made in the last year of his life. And of course, it's a unique treasure. This is.
Are you absolutely certain it's a Van Gogh and not a fake?
It's 100% and Vincent Van Gogh, an authentic.
Very famous experts of very big museums told us that they think if it is an authentic, it may make a new record.
The chief restorer at Athens Modern Art Museum, Michalis Doulgaridis, has also examined the brushwork, which is supposed to be as individual as a fingerprint. This is definitely a Van Gogh, he says, and one of his rarer works. The Van Gogh Museum in Amsterdam, regarded as the world's foremost authority on the artist's work, has refused to discuss the painting. But I have shown this photograph to 3 Van Gogh specialists in the United States and in Britain. They are all extremely dubious, although they won't say categorically that it is not a Van Gogh without seeing it in the flesh. There were loads of people who've done fakes of Van Gogh. How certain are you that that's not one of those?
This is for sure an authentic one because of the elements that are behind of the back of the painting. There are the stamps of the Nazis. The Nazis, for 100%, they were 100% sure from which war they were looting these paintings.
The key clues to the picture's origins are a Nazi stamp and code on the back. But I was not allowed to film them. The stamp belonged to a group led by Alfred Rosenberg, a Nazi in charge of art stolen from the Jews and who was tried at Nuremberg after the war and hanged. Mrs. Pepper found what she claims was Van Gogh's notebook, as well as the painting of Dr. Gachet, in her late father's possessions.
This is the Nazi stamp. It's from the ERR, the Eisenstab Rosenberg Reichsleiter. My father was in the resistance. It was written in the papers that I found with the works of art. He found many of these works when they hit the trains. They attacked the trains when the Nazis were going home.
Mrs. Pepper says her researchers have not identified the Jewish family which owned the portrait.
The blood, the pain of people is something that always makes me feel very badly. My people also had much blood, much pain, much problems during the centuries. But since it's nobody's, life goes on.
Those called My People by Doretta Pepper are, she claims, a persecuted religious minority. They're not lovers of fancy dress, but genuine believers in the 12 ancient gods of Mount Olympus, and they're campaigning to worship freely at Greece's temples.
From Athens, Doretta Pepper, I am ancient religious. I don't have a problem to say it. I am not monotheist, I am polytheist, and I am here. We are here, people of the world. Άρθρο 13. Κάθε γνωστή θρησκεία είναι ελεύθερη. Και τα σχετικά με τη
Here, Doretta Pepper, the high priestess, is arguing with Ministry of Culture officials to gain access to the temple of ancient Zeus in Athens.
and at the moment they are banning us from entering our sacred site of the Oz. I cannot understand why they are doing this. It is not legal. It is not legal. It is in the Constitution that we are free citizens of Greece.
On this occasion they succeeded in getting into the temple, but they have constant trouble trying to perform their ceremonies. And so the proceeds of the sale of Dr. Gachet could be very useful.
If I decide to sell it, I will give whatever I can to the civilization, to make a temple of the goodness of the ancient gods.
Mrs. Pepper says that no one has come forward to claim the picture and that under Greek law it now belongs to her. Will Mrs. Pepper get her temple? It all depends on Dr. Gachet living up to the Greek art historian's claims.